In the summer of 2016, hikers visiting High Mountain Park Preserve in Wayne, New Jersey, began reporting something deeply disturbing along one of the area's most popular trails. People were discovering dangerous booby traps hidden throughout the path traps, clearly designed to injure anyone who happened to cross them. According to police reports, the hazards included wooden boards with nails sticking out, barbed wire stretched across parts of the trail, and broken glass carefully placed behind rocks and logs where hikers or their pets might step. As more complaints came in, authorities issued warnings urging visitors to stay alert while walking the trails. Cleanup efforts were organized to remove the traps and make the area safe again. What made the situation especially unsettling was that these devices served no practical purpose other than to harm someone. Someone had taken the time to gather materials, travel out onto a busy public trail, and deliberately set traps where people were likely to step. Investigators never identified the person responsible, but the sheriff's department believed the motive might be connected to a long-running conflict between hikers and mountain bikers who shared the trails. For years, tensions had grown as some bikers reportedly sped past hikers without warning, leading to injuries and frustration on both sides. Still, it's difficult to imagine that anyone would escalate the situation to such dangerous extremes. Fortunately, despite how hazardous the traps were, no one was injured before they were discovered and removed. The person responsible was never found. In December of 2014, a YouTube user known as Forest Fire Number 21 uploaded an audio recording captured around 2 o'clock in the morning from deep within the woods behind his home. The uploader lived in a heavily forested area, and on that particular night he heard something unusual coming from the trees. The recording captured what sounded like a young girl screaming somewhere far into the woods. The cries were loud, frantic, and difficult to understand. But after listening closely, some viewers noticed something else hidden in the background of the audio, a quieter adult male voice calling out, "Where are you?" The presence of both voices made the recording far more unsettling. The screams were captured during freezing winter weather in the middle of the night, in an area where very few people would normally be outside. After uploading the recording, the user later explained that he checked local news reports every day, hoping to find some explanation for the incident. But nothing ever appeared. No reports of missing persons, no mention of disturbances in the woods, nothing that could explain what he had heard that night. It's impossible to know what was actually happening in the forest during that recording. The uploader never provided much additional context, and whether authorities were ever contacted remains unclear. All that remains is the chilling audio of a voice calling for someone in the dark woods and a young girl screaming somewhere in the distance. In May of 2014, a user on Imgur shared a story about visiting a friend in northern Germany and exploring something they had both been curious about for years. The friend had grown up near a section of forest where strange metal pipes stuck out of the ground like periscopes. As children, he and his siblings believed the pipes were connected to underground bunkers hidden beneath the forest floor, but their parents had always forbidden them from going near them out of concern for their safety. During the visit, curiosity finally got the better of them. The two decided to investigate the pipes and see if the bunkers were real. After searching the area, they eventually found an entrance concealed beneath the loose wooden board. Using a crowbar, they lifted it aside and climbed down into the bunker. Inside, they discovered a network of long, hospital-like corridors stretching deep beneath the woods. The tunnels seemed endless, branching off in different directions and disappearing into darkness. As they explored further, they began noticing graffiti along the walls, evidence that others had discovered the tunnels before them. But one message in particular stood out. On one of the walls, the word "help" had been repeatedly spray-painted in German. It could have been a prank left by teenagers exploring the bunker, but given the location and the eerie atmosphere, the message felt far more unsettling. Deeper inside the tunnels, they discovered even stranger graffiti. One message read, "Hello Satan, I love you." Despite the disturbing signs, the two continued exploring for several hours, moving through flooded rooms filled with old machinery, narrow corridors that ended abruptly, and countless twisting hallways. In the end, they didn't encounter anything more disturbing than the graffiti itself. They eventually made their way back out of the bunker and never returned. The Rampart Range in Colorado is part of the Rocky Mountains and sits within Pike National Forest, an area known for its expansive public land and extensive trail systems. During the summer months, the trails attract bikers, hikers, and outdoor enthusiasts looking to explore the mountains. For many, it's considered a paradise for adventure and recreation. Reports began surfacing of wires being strung between trees at roughly head height, positioned directly across paths where mountain bikers ride. The intent behind these wires appears obvious. Anyone riding at speed could collide with them and suffer serious injury. In 2019, a Facebook post describing the danger spread widely online. According to the post, one person had already lost his life after riding into a similar wire placed across a trail. Soon after the story spread, many people expressed outrage, pointing out that deliberately placing wires like that should be treated as attempted murder. In 2017, two motorcyclists had uploaded a video showing their own close encounter with a wire stretched across a trail. Fortunately, they spotted it in time and avoided hitting it. In some cases, wires placed off trails might have innocent explanations, such as campers hanging clothes or marking property boundaries. But when the wires are positioned directly across a bike trail, there's little doubt about the intention behind them. Whether motivated by frustration with noisy vehicles or other conflicts between trail users, someone had deliberately created a deadly hazard in a place meant for recreation. Lisa is a life coach and YouTuber who documents her experiences traveling across the country while living alone in her van. One afternoon in 2022, she parked on the side of the road and left the side door open while she cooked dinner inside. Everything felt normal until a man suddenly approached her vehicle. Without asking permission, he leaned inside the van and began speaking to her in French. Lisa didn't understand what he was saying and told him so, but the man didn't leave. Instead, he pulled out his phone and opened a translator app, trying to continue the conversation. The situation immediately made her uncomfortable, especially since he had already invaded her personal space. After watching him struggle with the translator for several minutes, Lisa decided she'd had enough. She shut the van door in his face and closed the curtain to make it clear she wanted to be left alone. But the man stayed. For more than half an hour, he stood outside in the rain, continuing to use the translator app, as if waiting for another opportunity to talk.
Okay, he just moved even closer so that I can't move out, so that I can't go forward. Please leave. Please leave, you sketchy person. Please leave.
At one point, he even moved into nearby bushes and watched her van from a distance. As the sun began to set, his behavior grew even more unsettling. He repeatedly repositioned his car closer to her van, sometimes blocking her exit.
This guy is really starting to freak me out. It's been like a half an hour and he just keeps on moving his vehicle so he can see in my van here. Anyways, it's 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
Lisa stayed alert, watching him carefully and unsure of his intentions. Fortunately, just as darkness fell, another family arrived in an RV and parked behind her. Their presence immediately changed the situation. The man left soon after they arrived. But several hours later, in the middle of the night, he returned to check if Lisa was still alone. When he saw the other family still there, he drove away and didn't come back. The next morning, Lisa left early and never saw him again. Whatever his intentions were, The timing of that family's arrival may have prevented the situation from becoming something much worse.